Patriotism in Australia. Now there's a topic that's as nuanced as fine wine. You see, in Australia, our approach to patriotism is a bit like our approach to life. Laid back, understated, and with a healthy dose of self-deprecation. It's a stark contrast to the more overt expressions of national pride you might find in countries like America. In Australia, flying a flag outside your home isn't as common as it is in some parts of the world, say America. Over there, it's not unusual to see the stars and stripes proudly displayed on every other porch. Here, flying the Aussie flag in your front yard is often seen as a bit on the nose. But why is that? It's not that we're not proud of our country, far from it. It's more about how we express that pride. Australians tend to express patriotism in subtler ways. It might be through our love for sports, cheering on the Aussie team during the cricket or the Olympics, or it might be in our fondness for local products, giving a nod to Aussie-made goods. We show love for our country through actions like community volunteer work or helping out a mate, rather than through overt symbols. There's also a cultural aspect to this. Australia, with its history as a British colony and its diverse population, has a complex relationship with nationalism. For some, overt displays of patriotism, like flying a flag, can feel a bit exclusionary, a bit too reminiscent of a past where not everyone was included in the narrative of Aussie pride. In recent years, there's been more awareness and conversation around what it means to be Australian, especially considering our Indigenous history and multicultural present. It's interesting to note that on certain days, like Australia Day or Anzac Day, you'll see a surge of national symbols, flags included, but even then, there's often a reflective, almost somber tone to these commemorations. It's less about chest-thumping pride and more about gratitude and remembrance. And then there's the classic Aussie aversion to anything that seems overly showy or boastful. In Australia, there's a cultural norm called the tall poppy syndrome. It's this idea that you shouldn't make too much of a fuss about your achievements or your love for your country. Being too loud or too flashy about your patriotism can come across as a bit un-Australian. It's like we're all in this together and no one should act like they're better than anyone else, even in their love for the country. This isn't to say that Australians aren't patriotic. We are, in our own way. Our patriotism is in our appreciation for the Aussie lifestyle, beaches, the bush, the laid-back attitude. It's in our love for Aussie humour, our resilience in the face of adversity, and our willingness to give everyone a fair go. It's just that we don't feel the need to shout it from the rooftops, or in this case, flagpoles. So, in Australia, while we might not fly the flag as prominently or as often as our American friends, our patriotism runs deep. It's just more understated, more about a quiet confidence in who we are and what we stand for. It's a love for Australia that's as vast and varied as the land itself.